The following video is part 2 of getting your iPads ready for the school year. We're going to be taking a look at how to change different settings on the student iPads and or teacher iPads to make their lives a little bit easier. At this point, your iPad should have been lined up in your classroom. You should have created a class and added all of your iPads, all of the students to your Apple Classroom. Second thing you should have done at this point is you should also have Clever already signed in on all the iPads as well, using the student name with @nfschools.net and also their password. That will basically federate that iPad to that one particular student, and that one student will have to use that one iPad all school year long. So the next step, what we're going to do next is we're going to be getting him into the different settings changes. So now that all the iPads are lined up, we're going to go one by one on all the iPads and make the following changes. Here are some setting recordings that I would recommend you change on your student iPads now that they're all lined up and ready to go with both within Apple Classroom and in Clever. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to come down here to where it says Settings. And the first setting we're going to take a look at is actually inside of Accessibility. So we're going to come over here on the left-hand side, you're going to click on Accessibility. And then once you get to Accessibility, you're going to come down to where it says Pointer Control down here. Once you click on Pointer Control, you can, first thing I'd recommend to do on the student iPads is increased contrast. So I would slide that little toggle over. If you want to change the pointer size, make it a little bit bigger for them, you can always slide this thing over as far as you want, but maybe just a little bit to make it a little bit bigger for the littles to see this thing. And also, if you want to change the color of the pointer, you can. If you want to change it to blue, right now it's always set to gray. If you want to set it to red, you can set it to red with the border width around it and whatever else. Okay, so it's just something to kind of help the kids once they're using the trackpad that they, they'll be able to find things a little bit easier. The next setting change we're going to go through is the display and brightness. So we're going to click back over here on the left-hand side. Going to go back to display and brightness, and we're going to basically come down all the way to the very bottom here where it says auto lock. Now most iPads are set for 2 minutes. What that basically means is if the student doesn't touch the iPad in 2 minutes, it's going to basically go into like its little sleep mode. Then they got to come back, they got to turn the power on, they got to swipe up, they got to go back to where they found out. So 2 minutes is not a very long time. So we're actually going to increase this time to 10 minutes. If you want to go 15, you can increase it to 15. If you go to never, the problem with never is that means the iPad never shuts off and you will drain the battery in less than a day. All right, so 10 minutes should be plenty for the kids to go to the bathroom, come back, and basically log back on again. All right, so again, that's in display and brightness. The auto lock should be set now to 10 minutes. The next setting we're going to change is this multitasking and gestures right here. And we're going to scroll all the way down to the very bottom on the right-hand side. Right where it says swipe finger from corner, probably all your student iPads are off, so we're going to actually turn that swipe on. And now that basically means is by turning that on, the students can now take a screenshot just by taking their finger from the bottom left corner of the screen, so taking their finger from down here and swiping up to the upper right corner. All right, that will automatically take a screenshot, and then that puts that picture right inside their photos, and they can start working from there. Okay, so I'm going to hit done. I'm going to hit save to photos. All right, if you swipe from the bottom right corner, that just creates a quick note, which the kids probably won't use too much of, but the bottom left corner is a big one, only because if they want to do a screenshot, they have to actually hold the power button and the down volume button at the same time. They got to push them at the same time, and they got to hold them at the same time. And the problem with that is that these cases are a little thick, and it takes a little bit of grip strength in order to really kind of push both those buttons down a little bit at the same time. So by changing that over to swiping from the bottom left corner, it makes life a little bit easier for them. The last setting change that we're going to go through is in the apps. So I'm going to go ahead down here to the very bottom, click on apps. Then over here, I'm going to scroll all the way to Safari. All right, not Animal Safari, a regular Safari. So I click on Safari. All right, and then I'm going to kind of scroll down just below these two little boxes right here. And right here, it's going to say Close Tabs, and it's going to ultimately be defaulted to manually. The problem with this is every single time the kids click on Clever, it's going to open a new tab in Safari. They click on Clever again, new tab, another Clever, new tab, new tab, new tab. By the end of the day, they might have 20 or 30 tabs open up. And if they don't ever close those tabs and they go into the next day, they might have another 30 or 40 and then 50 or 60. And it just starts getting really, really crazy. So what we want to do is hit this little close tabs. Instead of having it on manually, let's change this to after 1 day. All right, that means by 12 o'clock p.m. that night, it will close all the tabs on Safari, so that way when the kid comes in the next day, they have a brand new, well, basically brand new, not a brand new iPad, but brand new browser ready to go for them on Safari and in Clever. Okay, so just to show you what I'm talking about, so like if I hit Clever right here, it's going to open up Clever. So now I have one tab, I have another tab. All right, so if I get out of this and I open up Clever again, it's going to open up a third tab and fourth tab and so on and so forth. So basically every single time I open up a tab, and I'm not logged into Clever on this one, that's why it's not opening a third tab for me, but you can see what I'm saying. Like it creates two tabs here, then a third one, then a fourth one, and a fifth one, so on and so forth. So by having that toggle on, it wipes all those out at the end of the school day. So those are my basic settings changes that I would make on the student iPads. You may want to make a couple of those changes on your teacher iPad as well, and hopefully that saves you some time by doing that now in the beginning of the year with all the iPads laid out there. Thank you very much. Now that all the students are logged into your Apple Classroom, and all the students are also logged into Clever, and you've made those small little settings changes on each of the iPads, life should be a little bit simpler and a little bit easier now for the students to come in on day one, grab their iPad, and away you go. So please keep an eye out for any more how-to videos that are coming in the very near future. Thank you very much for paying attention, and have a great school year.